Hello YouTubers, this video is going to be a challenge that I'm addressing to the so-called biggest atheist from here on YouTube, Thunderfoot. Now this user has challenged before other people here on YouTube and far as I know has complained that these people do not match his challenge. So I don't consider to be very extraordinary if somebody else would ask him to consider a challenge. For some time now, Thunderfoot has engaged in a campaign where he is trying to convince people that science is atheism. So if you like science, you must choose atheism, and there is no other way between. The second part of this campaign is for people who are already atheists. He's trying to convince these people that religion is the dark age. So if you are already an atheist and you love science, you must join Thunderfoot in his crusade against religion, against dark age, for the sake of science, of course.
About 300 years ago, Western civilization changed. It gradually adopted a new principle, that no concept was beyond challenge, and that men were free to contest any idea put forward. Men were free to contest any idea put forward. Men were free to contest any idea put forward. That no concept was beyond challenge, and that no concept was beyond challenge, and that no concept was beyond challenge.
So after I watch the Thunderfoot videos, why do people laugh at creationists, I realize that Thunderfoot is trying to push into the scientific arena some new ideas, some new concept. So I decided to challenge these Thunderfoot theories.
That no concept was beyond challenge, and that no concept was beyond challenge.
And now we are going to listen to this man's argumentation.
Spending their lives so afraid of their inevitable deaths that they can be seduced into wasting their only mortal life by anyone offering them the fantasy that they don't have to die. And then the ultimate selfish act, forcing such evidently retarding beliefs onto the malleable minds of children. If they hadn't squandered their lives, just imagine where we would be now. Columbus wouldn't have been discovering America, he would have been landing on the moon.
Ultimately, I have faith that the modern voice of reason will hold the high ground versus the voice of Bronze Age superstitious antiquity. It is the voice of reason that carried us from the Bronze Age and delivered us the modern first world civilization in which we live today. We give in good faith the gift of free speech, purchased and defended by the blood of free thinkers, to the likes of Venom Fang X and other creationist Christians, such that their desecration of this highest of gifts may stand as a testament to the worth and merit of this movement and the arguments that they embody.
So what we are going to hear and see now, I have reasons to think it's the core of a Thunderfoot argument. It's the essence of a Thunderfoot argument.
If they hadn't squandered their lives, just imagine where we would be now. Columbus wouldn't have been discovering America, he would have been landing on the moon. If they hadn't squandered their lives, just imagine where we would be now. Columbus wouldn't have been discovering America, he would have been landing on the moon. If they hadn't squandered their lives, just imagine where we would be now. Columbus wouldn't have been discovering America, he would have been landing on the moon, landing on the moon, landing on the moon.
There was no sacred, there was no dogma. And in the free marketplace of ideas, good ideas generally superseded bad ones.
So after I analyzed most of the Thunderfoot videos and most of his Blog TV speeches, I come up with 5 points. 5 points that Thunderfoot is using again and again in his videos, again and again in his blog TV speeches. So these are the 5 points that Thunderfoot is making throughout his internet activity. And now we are going to watch 2 Thunderfoot clips that I debunked before, from which we are all going to realize that the man is really obsessed about these so-called theories.
With scripture.
Yeah, that's right, Fatso. This time was known as the Dark Ages, when slave ownership and burning witches, as commanded by scripture, was seen as a good thing. However, those of us who have stood in the light have little desire to let you lead us back into the darkness. A quick lesson on history. From 600 to 1000 AD, the Islamic Empire was the centre of culture, freedom of thought, and scientific advancement in the world. It was they who preserved the knowledge of the Greeks. However, fundamentalists rose to power, and the Islamic nations have sunk into an academic dark age from which they have yet to emerge. By chance, one of the centres of learning in Spain at the height of the Islamic Empire survived and fell into the hands of the Christians, and thus was our academic bloodline to the knowledge of the Greeks preserved. This became the source of the Enlightenment when the Christian nations of Europe adopted such values as free speech. It was not that Western nations were born out of Christian values, such as slavery, burning witches, stoning adulterers, etc., but the Christian countries adopted what we would now describe as Western values, which led to their success. Christianity converted to Western values, and this was Europe's ticket out of the Dark Ages. The lesson is clear. Unless you want to live in a savage Bronze Age biblical culture, learn from the harsh mistress of history.
Okay, so in this video I'm not going to debunk anything, and I'm not going to put Thunderfoot to listen to a whole history lesson, but because he is the one who is trying to push a new model of human history, I'm going to ask 2 simple questions about the model that Thunderfoot is trying to present.
There was no sacred, there was no dogma, and in the free marketplace of ideas, good ideas generally superseded bad ones. Any idea put forward.
1. Give me your best arguments for the existence of a 1000 years dark age in Europe.
Any idea put forward.
So if you claim, and you did, that without Christianity we would have colonized the universe by now, the question would be, who stopped the Aborigines from Australia to do that? That is, to colonize the universe, because they were not Christians and there was no dark age there. A version of the same question would be why the Amerindians, the Native Americans, did not answer with atomic bombs and intercontinental missiles when Spanish tried to conquer their lands. I mean, the Spanish were coming from a dark age, while the Native Americans were not. Again, another version of the same question would be who stopped the Chinese, who stopped the Japanese, who stopped the African. who stopped the native population from the islands, from the Pacific, who stopped the Eskimos. All these people, they should progress. All these people, they should colonize the universe, and the European, with their Dark Age and their primitive Christianity, should remain the last from all. So what happened, Thunderfoot? Okay, so people watching this video will probably say, wait a minute, Thunderfoot is not a historian. Okay, so this is why I am making this video as a challenge for Thunderfoot and his 30,000 subscribers all working together to give me an answer. So I want to know about the Dark Age, the 1000 years Dark Age that atheists are talking about, and I want to know why in this Dark Age nobody on the entire earth has colonized the universe. And of course I know the answer for all this, but I just want to hear the atheist opinion.
Intent on undermining that has uncontestably and fairly been through the trial of fire of the academic arena, and withstood the scrutiny of the smartest people on the planet,